A Japanese mother is sitting on the floor with her 3-month-old baby. She's not flashing black and white cards. She's not playing a learning app. She's not doing anything that looks educational at all. She's just talking, slowly, softly, about nothing in particular. And yet, researchers studying Japanese infants have found something remarkable. These babies, by the end of their first year, show measurably stronger brain development in areas tied to language, emotion, and connection than many of their peers around the world. Not because of fancy toys, not because of special classes, because of one quiet, consistent habit that most Western parents have never heard of. Stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what that habit is and how to start using it tonight. We spent so much energy on the first year of a baby's life trying to stimulate their brain. We buy the right mobiles, the right music, the right sensory toys. We Google how to make my baby smarter at 2 a.m. while they sleep on our chest. But Japanese parents, for generations, have been doing something quieter, something simpler, and according to neuroscience, something far more powerful. Today, I'm going to walk you through 3 Japanese habits from the first year of life that do something extraordinary to a baby's developing brain. And I'll show you exactly what the science says about why they work, because these aren't just cultural traditions. They're some of the most well-researched principles in early childhood development. Let's start at the very beginning.
There is a word in Japanese parenting culture, jikango. It refers to the natural, melodic, slowed-down way that Japanese mothers have spoken to their infants for centuries. Not baby babble, not silly sounds. A deliberate, warm, musical style of speech, rich in rising and falling tones, long vowels, gentle repetition. In the West, we sometimes feel embarrassed talking to a baby who can't talk back. We wonder if we're being ridiculous. We default to silence or a background TV. Japanese mothers do the opposite. They narrate everything. They describe the color of the bowl. They name the sensation of warm water. They speak to the baby as if the conversation is already happening, even before the baby can respond. And here's what neuroscience tells us about why this matters. In the first year of life, a baby's brain is forming synaptic connections at a rate that will never happen again. Over 1 million new neural connections every single second. And the single most powerful input fueling that growth, the human voice. Specifically, a caregiver's voice, directed at the baby, with variation in pitch and rhythm. Research from the University of Washington found that babies whose parents spoke to them in this warm, musical, face-to-face way showed significantly more activity in the brain regions responsible for language processing and social understanding by the time they were just 12 months old. 1 year, that's how quickly the gap opens. The Japanese didn't need a university study to know this. They've been practicing it intuitively for generations. Your practical takeaway: starting today, narrate your day to your baby out loud. Not in a performance, just gently. Now we're washing your hands. The water is warm. Here comes the soap. Do it in the bath. Do it during diaper changes. Do it in the car. Every word you speak directly to your baby is a brick in the architecture of their developing brain.
Here's something that might surprise you. Japanese culture has a concept called ma. It's one of those words that doesn't translate cleanly, but it roughly means the pause between things, the meaningful empty space, the breath between notes in music. In Japanese parenting, ma shows up in a very specific way. After a Japanese mother speaks to her baby, she pauses, she waits. She gives the baby space to respond, even though the baby can't yet form words. And that pause, that simple, patient, deliberate silence, turns out to be one of the most important things you can do for your baby's brain in the first year. Because here's what most Western parents don't know. Babies are not passive listeners. Even at 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, when a caregiver speaks and then pauses, the baby's brain lights up. It starts working. It is trying to respond. Researchers at MIT and the Harvard Graduate School Education studied what they call conversational turns, the back-and-forth exchange between a caregiver and a baby. What they found was stunning. The number of conversational turns a baby experienced in their first year was one of the strongest predictors of language ability, cognitive function, and even IQ years later. not the number of words the parent spoke, the number of turns, the back and forth. That means the pause matters as much as the words. When you speak to your baby and then wait, really wait, looking at them, giving them space, you are not doing nothing. You are inviting their brain to participate in a conversation, and their brain accepts that invitation even before they have the tools to respond with language. This is Ma, and it is one of the quietest, most underestimated gifts you can give a child in their first year. We've covered 2 habits so far, but the third one is the one that surprised me most when I first learned it, because it has nothing to do with what you say or when you pause. It has everything to do with how you look at your baby. Keep watching. Let me tell you about a concept called amai. We touched on this word in a different context in another video on Japanese parenting, but in the first year of life, amai, this feeling of being able to completely depend on another person's love, shows up in one of the most powerful and least discussed ways: the gaze. Japanese mothers are taught, and this is passed down through generations, not parenting books, to look at their baby's face with what can only be described as full presence, not glancing while doing something else, not looking over the baby's head, actually looking, eyes meeting eyes, with warmth, with attention, with nothing else competing for that moment. In the West, we know about eye contact with babies, but here's what we often miss. It's not just eye contact, it's the quality of the face the baby sees.
The still face experiment, one of the most famous studies in developmental psychology, showed that when a mother suddenly made her face blank and unresponsive, systems registered the absence of a warm, responsive face as something close to an emergency. The opposite is also true. When a caregiver's face is consistently warm, responsive, and present, when a baby can look up and reliably find a face that reflects them back, something profound happens in the baby's developing brain. The stress response system begins to regulate. The emotional center of the brain, the limbic system, wires itself around safety, and the foundation for everything else, language, curiosity, resilience, self-regulation, is built on that foundation. Japanese mothers have known this intuitively for centuries. They call it the foundation of amai. The baby who is gazed at with full attention learns in the cells of their nervous system that the world is safe and that they are worth attention. And that belief, formed before language, formed through eyes and faces and the quality of presence, quietly shapes who that child becomes. Your practical takeaway: once a day, even just for 5 minutes, put your phone down, get face-to-face with your baby, and just look at them. Respond to what you see on their face. Mirror their expressions back. Let them feel fully seen. This isn't soft parenting. This is neuroscience. You are literally wiring their brain. 3 Japanese habits, 3 ancient practices, 3 things that cost nothing and require no equipment. Jikango, speaking to your baby in that warm, musical, face-to-face way, narrating the world around them. Ma, the deliberate pause, the space given to let their brain respond, the back and forth that neuroscience has proven changes their cognitive development. Amai, the quality of presence in your gaze, the fully attentive face that tells your baby their nervous system is safe. None of these are complicated. None of them require a special schedule or a curriculum. They fit into the ordinary moments of your day: a bath, a feeding, a quiet moment on the floor. Japanese parents aren't raising more emotionally intelligent children because they have more time. They're doing it because they've understood something for generations that Western science is only now proving with data: that the first year of life is not about stimulation, it's about connection. And connection, repeated in small moments, every day, is what quietly builds a brilliant, resilient, emotionally healthy brain. If this video gave you something, share it with a parent in your life who needs to hear it. And if you want more on how the world's wisest parenting cultures raise children who are calm, curious, and deeply connected, subscribe. There's a lot more coming. See you in the next one.